All right, what's up, everybody? We're back with another scoop. We are jumping into probably our personally most anticipated pre-workout that we haven't tried yet. It's not widely popular, like you probably won't find it at like Vitamin Shop or GNC or anything, but it does have a cult following. So the people that do take it seem to really like it. We have reasons to believe it's one of the better ones on the market just based on ingredient profile and just feedback from people that we tend to trust. It's actually Derek, who we were just trying to figure out his last name, Derek from moreplatesmoredates.com. Obviously, we are not being asked to make this review or anything, clearly. But we are fans of his. I mean, that's unrelated, but we will try to keep an objective view as far as our thoughts on this pre-workout. Starting off for cost, it is relatively reasonable, especially when you take into account this is one of the more high stimulant pre-workouts. But just looking at cost, what it is, it's about $55. So far, I've noticed you can really only get it from the direct website, which I think is just GorillaMode.com. That's the name of the pre-workout, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Gorilla Mode. It's a line of products, but Gorilla Mode is the pre-workout, and it's $55 for, technically, it does say 40 servings, but a full serving would be 2 scoops. So it's 20 servings for probably the majority of people, especially who want a high stim pre-workout. 40 servings, which would be a good deal for someone who's probably introductory and can get away with a half serving. So you do kind of have to take that into account, that you may be able to stretch out the product because you don't have to double scoop it every time. You don't have to do the full double every time. But that's on par. What's that on par with, really, when it comes to?
There's such clinical dosing in this, which we'll get into in the ingredient profile. It's hard to argue on the cost. I mean, 55 for 40 servings is, I mean, you got to figure that's the same thing as like $35 for 20 servings, like right around there. So I mean, it's going to be similar to like the Prolific that I did. It's going to be similar cost wise to the really not even that far off from like Total War, let's say, when it's not on sale. So but yeah, once we get into the ingredient profile, like I said, I think when you factor in that this is almost like a full pump product with a stimulant pre-workout all in one, I really don't think it's that bad of a deal. So
I mean, that's what's gonna be, what, high threes probably?
yeah, I think just value-wise, I think you're still getting good value,
Almost
especially
like
if you're not going to be doing. It's 2 big scoops is the full serving. So yeah, I think like 3.9 or 3.9 is fair on cost.
Okay, so 3.9 on the cost, and yeah, so I'll kind of like start off with kind of the ingredient profile and let him get into more specifics. So it is comparable in a lot of ways as far as what's in it. So I mean, the other products we've tried do have citrulline, sometimes do have creatine, sometimes glycerol, betaine, tyrosine, things like that. But it's really the dosages. The dosages have been very much increased with to a clinical level to where it's optimal, but not overdoing it to the point where it would be detriments. And then not to mention, which Travis about to jump into, there's a couple additional ones that Derek has put into the product that we've yet to try, but we will. Then I'll let him jump into that.
Yeah, without like spending just too huge of a chunk on the video, one of the biggest ones that stands out is the citrulline dosing. It's 9 grams of straight L-citrulline. So a lot of the ones that we take are mixed with malic acid. It'll say citrulline malate. Like I'm pointing up there to Total War because Total War has a citrulline malate. It's a blend. So you're really only getting about 4 grams when it's a mix like that. If it's 6 grams, so I mean you're only getting about a half to 2/3 of the actual citrulline. So this is well over double of almost any other pre-workout I've tried except for maybe AML. So 9 grams of L-citrulline is near the top end of the clinical dose, which is a lot. 5 grams of creatine. You guys know the deal with creatine. It's just you got to take it every day. So I mean, but 5 grams, once again, full dose. That's all you need. Glycerol powder. Glycerol is basically responsible for delivery and like intercellular water retention. And once again, he went full 3 grams on that. Betaine, same thing, intercellular hydration, tyrosine, which is like basically kind of serves in that nootropic family. It's going to help with regulation of dopamine, and then agmatine sulfate, same thing. It's going to be in that nootropic blend. Trying to just like motor through these fast as I can. Kana, which is like, that's a really different ingredient that he put in here that we haven't seen. I don't think he or I have taken it yet. It is actually, we looked it up. It's good for helping to regulate neurotransmitter balance and to help people with anxiety and managing stress. So it's also going to be like a mood enhancer. 350 milligrams of caffeine at the full dose. Jordan had talked to me, may not even do the full dose every time, but we're going to do it today.
Fasted, baby.
Yeah. N-phenethyl dimethylamine citrate, another dopamine receptor agonist that's just going to help to inhibit acetylcholine, which when that is inhibited, our brain function is improved. So once again, another nootropic, and then huperzine, which is another nootropic, and then finally bioperine. Bioperine is actually going to help the stimulants and the nootropics last longer. It's like a delivery agent within the compound too. So lots of stuff in there. Honestly, the only thing you didn't put in that we're fans of is beta-alanine. Everything else is totally maximally clinically dosed.
And his reasoning for that is really he just didn't like the feeling, that's just a two-way street.
And we're the opposite.
Yeah, we just like it.
This is, I'll just say, I think this is probably the best dosing wise. By far that we've seen. Honestly, if there was a little bit of beta-alanine, which we like, I think we'd probably be looking at almost a perfect 5 for this.
Yeah.
But I'm cool going like 4.8 even.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Right now we are at a 8.7. Going into taste, I will say it looks like old black water.
Coconut milk.
Keep on rolling. But here we don't take color into account here at TM Training.
This is tiger blood flavor, which is supposed to be a mix of watermelon, coconut, and
which is the same thing as Total War. I don't know tiger's blood always means that, which I missed. Maybe it's a cocktail. I don't know. I take a really baby sip. Okay, well I will say first off, I was full of water and it's still so strong. It's a lot of powder,
but it doesn't taste bad.
Not at all.
It tastes very much like the Total War Tiger Blood, which is one of my favorite flavors.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really not bad. You're not going to be able to chug it.
No.
So we're going to need to start drinking this like now.
Okay. Well, I think the flavor's good. We'll do a 3-2-1 on what we. Yeah, that's good. We'll do a 3-2-1 on our score for the flavor.
Yeah, I like the flavor.
Okay. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. 4.2.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that pretty much brings us right up to it. What were we? 8.7 plus 4.2. 12.9. 12.9, which is higher than some of the ones we've already done before going into effectiveness. So let's get to it. Let's go to the gym. Big volume leg day. We're going to get some leg day videos at you as well. And let's get to it. All right, what's up, guys? Back to wrap up the Gorilla Mode scoop. To touch on the effectiveness real quick and give our total. I don't want to speak for Trav. Let him talk in a minute, but it's very effective. I think we kind of saw that coming with the ingredient profile. We had basically every reason to believe that it was going to be very effective. The first time we used it, I actually had a pretty big PR on an SSB front squat, a 40-pound PR. That's a big lift. It's hard to kind of argue against that. I've only used it for legs so far, which is a little bizarre, but the blood flow is great. I felt very focused the whole time, so the nootropic blend works well. For me, I think it's great. It seems very hard to beat. That's just kind of me. Before I give a score, I'll let kind of Trav give his portion as well.
It's definitely been very good.
Get you in there.
The blood flow and everything has been awesome. The biggest difference, or at least from like a standpoint of what you can really kind of feel like neurologically, is to me it definitely, there are a lot of pre-workouts that are high stimulant that'll take me up, and then really by the end of the workout kind of drop me off, just because I have that really high response to the nootropics and to the caffeine. And then after that, by the end of the workout, I'm almost tired, yawning. It's a crash. Basically, it's just like a crash. And I have not been crashing at all. And I told Troy the first time I used it, which was a true test because it was on an empty stomach, I felt like it was just steady for hours after, which is uncommon with a lot of the high stem pre-workouts. So yeah, it's definitely been worth the money on pretty much every front. And
yeah, I mean, we have many reason to believe it's, well, and I do want to say, first off, obviously we're like higher stimulant users like it's heroin or something, but for someone who is especially kind of newer to like the pre-workout space, something like this would be, I mean, every reason to believe that it would just like kick you in the ass, even if you're using a half scoop. So for as far as a score, I mean, it's hard to imagine a lot better. I have a number in mind. I mean, you just want to go for it?
Sure, yeah.
We'll average out our 2 scores. I got a number in mind. So ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 4.6. We'll just go with a 4.5. We'll do a square 4.5, which puts us at, I think we were 12.9 plus 4.5.
17.4.
17.4, and I believe that places it in first place, which the ingredient profile alone it really takes it up. You're going to be able to get away with maybe even the 40 serving, especially if you're newer to the pre-workout space. Yeah, so there's a
Derek,
scoop.
for more plays, more days, if you're watching this, man.
Shout us out.
He's probably not. But yeah, no, it's been very good, and it's been very, yeah, it's lived up, and yeah, I mean, I'm like Troy. It's just the only weird thing about it is it's not available all the time, so we don't know if we're going to be able to keep using it. But well, yeah, it's been awesome.
That's a scoop for you. We have a new first place, and feel free to send any suggestions our way. Thanks.